Hello, I'm Rev Julie with Faithfully Driven, and welcome to my channel. I want to start with Persephone's journey into the underworld. So there's a moment in every woman's life where the world that she trusted just collapses. It's not because she's weak, it's not because she didn't love deeply enough. It's because someone or something that was supposed to protect her, whether it's a system, whether it's a person, they didn't. Okay. So today we're talking about Persephone's descent into the underworld, not as a myth from long time ago, but as a living, breathing archetype that still moves through women's bodies today. It's moving through our nervous systems. It's moving through spiritual awakenings. And this is one of the initiations. So at some point, almost every woman is betrayed, experiences a deep betrayal, often involving a man, whether it's a partner or a father or a system or a leader, but someone that was really supposed to protect her, okay, keep her safe. And when this happens, it reorganizes your nervous system. It doesn't just break your fucking heart, it reorganizes your nervous system. And it also, like I said, it initiates you. So Persephone's journey is not just a story about loss, but it's also a story about empowerment, about sovereignty, about taking back control of your power. Now, she begins as a core, as the core, as the maiden. So it's springtime. She's innocent. She's naive. There's trust. There's an openness, a receptivity and honesty about her that you can really feel. And from a nervous system standpoint, she primarily lives in this very ventral vagal regulation state. So she feels safe in the world. She feels safe exploring. There's almost this innocence, this naivete. She assumes benevolence on everyone's part. Her body is really open. It's relaxed. It's oriented towards connection. And this is the part of us that believes if I'm good enough, if I'm loving, if I'm kind, then nothing bad will happen. Now, this is the version of all women that is within us before the act of betrayal touches us. Before that, before that point where we've learned that safety can be conditional, that before love, kind of had all these consequences and before trust had a cost, right? But then it happens. Persephone is taken into the underworld. Now, in a lot of versions, her father, Zeus, actually, not only does he condone it and allow it, but he orchestrates it. He doesn't protect her, he consents to her disappearance. And that is the moment where, and her mother is left in the dark about this. This is behind her mother's back. But this is the moment where every woman recognizes this point in her bones, in her soul. The moment when you realize the man that was supposed to keep me safe, the man that was supposed to protect me, didn't. Just going to let that land for a second, right? Because you can feel it in your nervous system. And from a nervous system standpoint, this represents a pivotal point in the journey. It's acute shock. It's something where your body doesn't process intellectually that level of betrayal, but it practices it somatically. So you feel it in your body. You could have a freeze, a collapse, like a dorsal vagal shutdown. You could experience hypervigilance, anxiety, which would be sympathetic activation of the nervous system. You can experience disassociation, where you just like leave your body. It's too much to handle, or a sudden loss in the connection that you have with your own intuition, with your own inner knowing. And that's not weakness. This is biology responding to a threat. So these are all ways that your nervous system is trying to protect you and keep you safe. The underworld is not just a place, it's actually a state of your nervous system. So the underworld represents, as Persephone is going down into this underworld, it represents everything that was too much for her to feel in real time. That's the underworld journey, right? So the betrayal, the shame, the terror, the grief, the loss of innocence. This is why I often hear a lot of women say, and I can say that in my own journey, I have felt that I don't even recognize myself anymore. Well, of course you don't. You were initiated. And in the underworld, Persephone doesn't just, she doesn't die. She comes back a changed woman. This act of betrayal and initiation, excuse my language, has fucked her up a little, but it's also fucking causing her to rise. Okay, so the story gets better, right? Because this is critical. While she's in the underworld, she does not bypass her pain through numbing, through addiction, through scrolling, through you name it. She does not spiritually override it. There's no spiritual bypassing, there's no toxic positivity. She lives there long enough for it to transform her. Ooh, yes, it's so powerful. She goes down there. She doesn't sit in despair. She sits there long enough to really integrate this information into her body, into her inner knowing. From a spiritual lens, this descent down into the underworld is the soul's confrontation with the truth. I'm going to say that again. Going into the underworld is the soul's confrontation with the truth. Now, from a nervous system standpoint and lens, it's the slow work of reintegrating safety in your body after betrayal. It's a powerful, powerful, painful, but powerful stage. Now, I want to talk about why betrayal by men hurts so deep because we don't talk about this enough. So, for many women, betrayal by a man doesn't just hurt emotionally, it fractures the attachment system, especially if the betrayal is mirroring any sort of father wound or issues that she might be suffering with abandonment or gaslighting, or, where we've kind of confused as women that silence equals protection. The nervous system learns connection is dangerous. My needs are too much. I'm too much. This is where we learn all these fucked up limiting beliefs. I'm alone in this. This is why so many women become hyper independent, badass women, emotionally guarded, chronically dysregulated in relationships, but we think of ourselves as like these badass independent women. No, that's how we've learned to protect ourselves. The underworld teaches you this truth. You cannot return to who you once were before this betrayal. You can't. Your life will never be the same, but you can return as someone who is more powerful. Let that land. You will never be the same, but you can return as someone who is more powerful. So Persephone, she eats the pomegranate. Now, this is often misinterpreted as a trap, right? But spiritually, it's actually a choice she's making. She chooses to bind herself to the underworld, but on her terms. This is a moment where a woman stops becoming the victim of her own story, and she becomes the author of her boundaries, of her life, of her destiny. You see, I'm getting so excited about this because I love this story. Now, from a nervous system standpoint, this is when the regulation starts to return because we're taking back our own power, we're taking back our own agency. So, not because the pain's gone, but because our agency is being restored. And agency heals trauma. Yes. Agency, not time, not distance, agency. Choice repairs safety. You stop asking, why? Why did this happen to me? Why me? And you start asking, who the fuck am I becoming because of this? Ooh, that is a powerful point in any woman's journey. So, here are some practical ways that you can move through your own descent into the underworld. All right. One, name the loss. Your nervous system speaks clarity. Speak it. It needs it. So speak it to yourself. I lost trust. I lost safety. I lost who I thought he was. That's grief, but naming it stabilizes the body. Slow the body down. This is number two. Slow the body down before the story. So before analyzing, regulate. Because I know that we all like to feel safe by going up here in our heads and figuring it out. That's not what's going to restore safety right now. What's going to restore safety is your breath. Longer exhales, okay? Hand on your heart, hand on your belly. See that? Gentle rocking or walking. That's somatic movement. Giving yourself a nice hug, some sensory on your arms, whatever you think you need. Learn to trust yourself in the ways that you think you need support because you cannot think your way out of betrayal. You need to feel safe first. That is your top priority. Also, I want to talk about real quick releasing the rage and the shame. Sacred rage. That's a whole other video, and we'll get to that. All right. But for right now, rage is life force energy. So shake, write uncensored letters that you never got, that you'll never send. Scream, yell, cry. Suppressed rage keeps you in the underworld. So when you're ready to come up, let it out. Let it out. Claim your voice. Speak. I hold my throat chakra. All right. And then number four, reclaim boundaries as sacred. So boundaries are not walls, they are your energetic sovereignty. This is like every no teaches your nervous system. I protect myself now. I'm in charge of me. And that is extremely powerful and stabilizing for your nervous system. Every act of self-protection, your body starts to trust itself again. Your reconnection with your inner self and your inner knowing and your intuition comes back online. And you'll be shocked how quickly that happens with every no, with every boundary. Now, Persephone, like I said, she doesn't come back from the underworld as a maiden. She returns as queen of the fucking underworld. She now has two worlds. She has the light and the dark, the innocence and the wisdom, the love and the discernment. This is the woman who can no longer be manipulated. This is the woman who trusts herself before she trusts anyone else and definitely is not looking around for other people's approval. That's where we lose our energy, okay? This is the woman who knows I survived what was meant to break me. I survived what was meant to break me. Feel those words. So, if you're lost in the underworld right now, you are not lost. You are being initiated. And when you rise, you will not rise unchanged. You will rise sovereign. If this journey resonates with you, you are not alone. There is a collection, a collective of women and other people who are remembering who they are together. And if you're ready to reclaim your body, your boundaries, your power, this work continues beyond this video. You're not broken. You're becoming. Thank you.